All right, guys, so this is a review of why we sleep. Okay, why do we do it? Well, in this book, it actually doesn't talk too much about why we do it, but it does talk about how to optimize it. It does talk about why we do it as well. We'll touch on that a little bit as well in this video, but for the most part, it's how do we optimize our sleep? What are the things we can focus on? And how important is sleep really? We're gonna answer those questions in this video here, okay? Number one, this is very simple, very cut and dry. The shorter you sleep, the shorter your life, okay? The shorter you sleep, the shorter your life. And in the book, it goes into about why this is. It talks about, you know, how sleeping less is linked to cancer and heart disease and all these other, you know, different, you know, medical complications, right? And they also had another study in the book, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. There was a study done where, I think it's for daylight savings time, when you get like 1 hour less sleep per day, that night, I don't know if it's a daylight saving times or it's the opposite one, but that day where you get 1 hour less sleep, right? I think the data was saying that like there's twice as many accidents on the day after than any other day like in the year. And it's because people get usually 1 hour less sleep that night. Isn't that crazy? 1 hour less sleep and you're more prone to just having random, you know, accidents because your brain doesn't function that well. It also talks about how you can't learn that well. You can't retain and absorb information that well when you're, you know, when you're deprived of sleep, when you're getting less sleep than what you should, right? So this is very straightforward, nothing more to talk about there. Now, number two is something that actually really surprised me a little bit about sleep. This is something I didn't know, something I've actually been doing, but something I didn't really, you know, fully know or understand to be true. So a bedroom temperature of 65 degrees Fahrenheit, okay, or 18.3 degrees Celsius is ideal for most people. Almost everyone sleeps too warm, which will negatively affect the quality of your sleep. So basically, if you think about it, how many people sleep 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18.3 Celsius? That's really cold to sleep in. But it's optimal. It's optimal for your mind. It's optimal for your deep sleep, for your REM sleep, and this and that. And in this book, it talks about like almost everyone sleeps in a room that's way too warm. Okay, and just keep in mind, this book is a lot of science. There's a lot of science in this book, right? So it's a lot of, you know, things that they found that are like basically concrete facts, right? So this is something to keep in mind. If you've been sleeping in a room that's a little bit too warm, you definitely want to lower the temperature. Maybe you don't want to like get all the way to 65 or the 18.3 Celsius. You probably should if you can, but if you can't get all the way down there, at least get to a point where, you know, you're somewhere around that range, right? Okay, so let's get to number three. This is a really, really important one. And the author says, if you take away one thing from this book, just one, this is it, okay? Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, including weekends, is the single best thing you can do regarding your sleep. And I took this to heart when I read this. You know, I don't want to read a book and not do what it says, right? I don't want to do that. So for me, I wake up at the same time every single morning. I wake up at 10:42 a.m. is my new time. It used to be 9:42 a.m. I changed it to 10:42 a.m. because I feel better when I wake up at 10:42 a.m. And also I used to wake up at 9:42 to go downstairs to the gym. Now my gym is actually, you know, right here in my apartment. So it's just more convenience for me to wake up at that time. But the point is, choose a specific time and stick to it. So mine is 10:42. whether it be weekends, weekdays, whatever it is, that's when I'm waking up. As far as going to bed at the same time, in general, I usually do, I'm not as exact with that because I don't know, I can't snap my fingers and fall asleep, but you can snap your fingers and wake up with an alarm. So as far as going to bed, I probably sleep, I want to say like around the 1 o'clock range, 1:30 sometimes even 2. Between 12:30 sometimes if I'm tired. So between 12:30 and 2, realistically, is when I fall asleep. But I wake up, I make sure I wake up at the same time every single day. And I highly recommend that. I feel better when I do that because now I know exactly what time I'll be up in the morning. So I can structure my day, do whatever else I need to do, and you just feel good. Your brain feels good when you wake up at the same time every day. It's like the circadian rhythms, and it's just your brain just feels more alive. It doesn't feel foggy and blurry. Like I'm always pretty much like have a lot of energy throughout the day. I never need to take a nap or anything like that. I don't even drink any caffeine. So I think waking up at the same time is very essential. Also, I mean, something that goes without say, you want to get that minimum 8 hours of sleep. For me, I don't know if I have some mild level, sleep apnea or whatever it is. I usually go off of like 9 or 10 hours of sleep. 9 hours is usually, probably where I land, like 8.5 hours to 9.5 hours. If I get 10 hours, I feel really good. But that range is just really good for me. That's what works for me. Maybe for some other people, it's 8 hours. That's what it also says in this book. It says, usually, this is a myth where it says like everyone needs 8 hours of sleep. Some people feel really good off of 7. Some people need 10. Some people need 11. Some people need 9, 8. Like, see what your body needs, right? If you're waking up in the morning and you're like dying to go to the caffeine, you probably aren't getting enough sleep. See, for me, I make sure I get enough sleep. I don't need any caffeine in the morning. I don't need any nap. I don't have any urges to take a nap. So if you have any urges to take a nap, or you feel like you absolutely need the caffeine, not that like it'll make you feel a little bit better, but you absolutely need the caffeine, then you're probably just not sleeping enough. Your quality of sleep is probably not enough. So yeah, that's basically it. But the number one really thing that you should take away, even beyond what I told you is the number one thing, is actually prioritizing your sleep. See, this is something that I do religiously. I don't care what's happening or what happens. Like, I am not going to cut down my sleep. I don't care, okay? And it becomes my number one priority. It says, okay, if it's past a certain time, I can stay up. Maybe some nights I can stay up to 2:30. If it's like if it's a thing, everyone's going out, whatever it is, I'll stay up 2:30, maybe even 3 some nights, whatever it may be. But I will make sure that I'm up that same time the next morning, right? You want to wake up, open your eyes at that same time the next morning. And like my point being, you never really want to wake up earlier either. Like, for example, like some people, they book, let's say their average wake up time, not saying me now, say some other random person, their average wake up time is, let's say, 8 a.m. It's a pretty standard average. I think 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever it may be. And some of these people, they may book a flight or something. They're going on vacation, book a flight where they have to wake up at 5. It just throws everything off. You really just shouldn't do that. Pay the extra money, fly in the afternoon, fly at nighttime. Don't sacrifice your sleep, right? That's my main point being there. Like, don't book a flight to cut down on your sleep, because then you're not prioritizing your sleep. It's not number one. You want it to be number one. Why? Because when you're going throughout your day, the most important thing for you to live a happy, fulfilling life is to be alive, energetic, right? You need energy. You need that energy. You want to feel alive. You don't want to be tired and like stumbling around throughout your day. It's just not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun for you. It's not fun for the people you're with. You want to have that full energy, right? You want to have that full energy. So make sure you get that sleep, and then your days will just feel better, to be honest with you. your days will simply just feel better. You won't have that need to take an afternoon nap. I can't remember the last time I had the need to take an afternoon nap, to be honest. Like I take maybe 2 or 3 naps per year, and that'll be the times where, you know, for whatever reason, like I slept really late the night before, whatever it is. But yeah, you really shouldn't be tired throughout the day. Like that's not, you know, that's not normal. You know, you shouldn't feel like you need caffeine to function, right? You should be functioning just off of getting a good quality sleep. Okay, the caffeine could be a bonus if you want it to be, but that's the way it should be. I hope you guys take something from this video, waking up at the same time every day, prioritizing your sleep, or yeah, prioritizing your sleep would be the big thing, or cooling down your room, right? Before you fall asleep. You know, maybe some of you guys might not be able to get it this cool because maybe you have like a girlfriend or something, or a boyfriend that doesn't like it that cool, whatever it is. Just try to get it as cool as possible. And yeah, that's it. So like, subscribe, comment if you have some more things. Also, I mean, I left out some of the basics here. Like for example, you know, staying away from blue light, and like the advice you hear everywhere. You know, the normal stuff, like, you know, read maybe a fictional book before you fall asleep, things like that. I left that out in this video. I just wanted to get to the stuff that usually not enough people talk about, because usually when you Google like something about sleep, they'll tell you, oh, stay away from the blue light, you know, read a fictional book, blah, blah, blah. We've all heard that a million times, but this is just to add on to all those, you know, standard things. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.